Our top story today, the far-right leader here in France, Marine Le Pen, will not be able to run in the next race for the French presidency after being declared ineligible to seek public office. She was found guilty a short time ago in a Paris court of embezzling EU funds at a court in Paris. And we're going live now to Shirley Sitbon, who's at that court in central Paris. Hi, Shirley.
Hello.
So, this was a huge shock, I gather. Tell us how she reacted.
It was a shock to Marine Le Pen, but it was a shock mainly at the end of her trial, because when the prosecution said that's what they were calling for, to have her, made ineligible for the next presidential election, at least for the next 5 years. That was the shock. That's when she reacted. Today was a confirmation of what she feared. She pleaded against this throughout her trial, saying this is unconstitutional, that the judges, the law, the branch of judiciary cannot decide for the executive. They can't bar a candidate from running for the presidential election. That's what she argued. Well, the court decided to go otherwise, say it has happened before with lower level elected officials. They can be made ineligible. They can't be barred. They can be barred from running. And that's what we're deciding today. They're saying it's not automatic, but in these circumstances, and they talked about this for 2 hours, we had no other choice. They said we're defending democracy because Marine Le Pen and her party acted in the wrong way. What they did was illegal, was embezzlement, and they didn't recognize this until the very end. They bypassed democracy, she said. And that's why the judge said we had no other choice. Us judges, we had to protect democracy. The global goal today is not to allow that kind of attitude, but the law, not just the lawmakers, but all the elected officials have to set the example. They can't act this way anymore.
And now, Shirley, we know a little more about the rest of the sentence than when you spoke to us earlier. There is this ineligibility, but there is also more in that sentence. Tell us all the details.
Yeah, so the fine, 100,000 euros, and the prison sentence, 4 years, 2 suspended. She's not going to go to prison. They're going to find an alternative sentence, probably in a bracelet like the former president Nicolas Sarkozy before her. I imagine that's when you don't get more than 2 years. It's always possible to find an alternative solution. But what mattered to Marine Le Pen were not those 2 years, not that fine. It's really the fact that she wants to run for the next election. If the polls show that if she ran today, she would have gotten first in the first round, not the second round, but the first round. So yeah, she says that her voters are paying for this. And in court, indeed, the defense said that voters should decide. And many political leaders in France said, yes, the voters should decide and not the court, not make this immediately effective. That's what makes the difference. A court can decide to make an elected official ineligible, to strip them of their mandate. But in this case, precisely, it was an immediate effect, not waiting for an appeals trial. And that's what makes the difference. That's why now Marine Le Pen is planning to talk to the whole nation tonight on the first station of the French television to plead her cause and saying that she has done nothing wrong. Again, that's what she says. And this is just a strategy against her to rule her out of French politics.
Okay.